Call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Norton?
Yes.
Dean here. Pruitt? Here. Johnson?
Here.
Van Wert? Here. Truitt? Absent. Varner?
Here. Approval of, excuse me, July minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? Anyone has any comments or corrections? Get to them. You got it.
Anybody else need a copy? I'm getting through the whole thing, but I'll see it.
Get a chance to review. You looked at them already. All those in favor of July minutes as printed, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. We'll come to our first public comment.
Renita Bonadies. I wanted to note that I did submit a FOIA a couple weeks ago, and by law, I'm supposed to get a response from the FOIA coordinator within 5 days, business days, and I did not. I was contacted by the treasurer 2 weeks late, or 2 days into the next week, and I have received the documents, but just as a procedural flow, that is supposed to be responded to by law. So I did get the financial statements. The reason I'm FOIAing them is they're never available at these meetings. It's been over a year and a half that we've not received them. So I continue to FOIA the data and put together my own financial statement. And I have made that spreadsheet available to the treasurer, but it does not appear that it's being utilized in these meetings, which by law, there's supposed to be financial reporting to the board, so. Just concerned that that's not happening.
Is the, because I was looking up the oil coordinator too, and I didn't see where he's supposed to, or that.
It just has to be responded to within 5 days. Doesn't have to be the coordinator.
But I didn't get a response in 5 days.
Right.
So, just making the board aware, again, that's part of the procedure that, I know in the county and other places, it's always the FOIA coordinator that gets back with me.
Because he
So,
passed it on to the right
right,
channel, but I don't know, is he supposed
Yeah,
to?
because I'm not doing that, because I don't know if they get back to you, they don't get back to you. I don't know anything.
right. Which is why I sent something on Friday, the 5th day, saying, I've not received this, am I going to get a response? And I did not get a response that day, so. So I'm just telling you how it works in other areas within the county in terms of who handles it, and then they go to the other people to get the data, so. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just have a comment.
No, we don't have
Everybody
any.
have name badges or name tag cards or something? So
We'll work
What is your name, ma'am?
Polly Bowman?
Polly
Yeah,
Bowman? B-O-W-M-A-N?
Boman.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, name badges and, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Weird.
And then I know
It's
sometimes the sound is very difficult to hear if people are talking up there. We don't know what everybody's saying at times.
Next, see,
You hook them back up.
hook them back up. There are microphones, and we did try it this summer. They still worked after 20 years, I think.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have to dig those back out.
Okay,
They're just microphones that sat on the table.
okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Yes.
Yes, I have a concern about elections. There was a lawsuit filed by Township, a Michigan Township clerk over a rule that our Secretary of State made to have the poll books destroyed after 7 days from the August primary, after the August primary certification. So that rule violates a federal law saying we have to keep election data for 22 months. So she successfully, so far, took that to court, had an injunction where the records needed to be preserved. So what I understand, it's gonna be after the state certification of the primary, is what Benson thought she was ruling on. But it conflicts with state law, it conflicts with federal law. So tomorrow there's gonna be a decision, and I'm just curious, if the township is aware of that, and if they can look for that tomorrow, and if they can hold to the federal 22-month rule.
We
Because
don't have,
that,
we don't have the poll book stuff. The county has all that.
okay,
You know, we don't handle any of that. We have to hand that in that night. They handle all the poll book stuff.
huh. So you don't keep a record for yourself?
None of the poll book stuff, no. You don't get to keep those cards. Don't get, all we got is all hard copies of everything. That's why we write reports. We do all of that. We have all that hard copy stuff. We do keep all that for 22 months. Some of it's even longer than that.
Okay, so you keep hard copy records, and the rest goes to the county?
Yeah, all the electronic stuff goes to the county.
And that's why when we asked for copies of it after the fact, it was like 30 days before they could give it to us. Okay, well, I just wanted to make that comment because it is kind of unusual. I don't know if it's common in other states for those kind of orders to go through.
Should make that comment to Ann there.
She's not county
Not
clerk.
there no more. She's got the election board though. She needs to
I'm
have
sure
that.
she's aware.
She's the one that's caused
Yeah, so, the other thing on the election, there was illegal voting in the state that was just prosecuted, and more evidence of illegal, non-citizens voting, so. And one other thing is, I still think it's important for Homer Township residents to get their checks for the water district refund. I never get it, I get penalized if I don't pay property taxes. I think that money should be written out in checks and not wait till December. It's my opinion. It's late. I know a lot of people are having a hard time making ends meet. And I think it's the right thing to do.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other public comments at this time? Commissioner, no, Larry called me or let me know he's at a conference, I think, or no,
Mission
vacation.
trip.
Mission trip. Approval of tonight's agenda. I was gonna talk about that, water, but there's no need of it. But
She didn't vote on it.
I don't know if that's a board decision.
I thought that's what you had found out.
It should be a board decision.
The,
Let me put that on, we'll talk about it then. Yeah, well, number 4 will be, I guess the water refunds, we'll put it that way.
Didn't she say they were putting it on the taxes? Taking it off the taxes deal?
Yeah,
That's gonna go on the December taxes.
I thought she said.
but is that her decision by law? That's my question.
Anybody else have anything else for the agenda? If not, all those in favor of the agenda with one additional item, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Excuse me. Reports and correspondence. Everyone, I know I put in your box the MCTOA fall meeting. It's at Larkin Hall at September 3rd.
Yeah, but we know it's good,
It's no cost.
just gotta be proud.
Yeah, they just want RSVP.
Yes.
Did get, if anybody's interested, finally got it's an audit, the final audit. It's not approved, it's the actual audit. I haven't printed one off because it's like 35 pages.
It's in the electronic,
Mm-hmm.
can you forward it on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, it's the whole report. If anyone wants it, let me know. I'm printing one.
Can it be put on the website?
Only if you forward it on.
Yeah, I can forward it to him.
Well,
The
it's not
the
approved
final
yet.
one would.
The final one.
Yeah, what's its finalist?
This is, no, this is the final.
That is the
The
final.
final or is it?
Yeah, we
No,
have, we
this
can
is
say
the
that,
final.
we gotta approve it first, so we gotta approve
We do
it.
have some.
Did we approve
We
it?
already approved
You
it.
already
It's all
approved it.
Yes.
We're good.
We're
We're
good.
good.
Should be in a minute.
But they just said, yeah, this is the actual,
Final
the
draft.
final draft, not approved, so. Last month it was approved. And we decided this, didn't we?
No, not last
It was the month.
Was it 2 months ago?
Yep.
2 months then. Yeah, I'll forward that to you. You can go. That's all I have. Todd?
Nothing new right now.
Craig?
Nope.
John?
Nope.
Keith?
Nope.
Brian?
No, sir.
Reconciliation of the clerk and treasurer?
I have no idea if we're.
She hasn't given you-
She hasn't given me anything.
She hasn't given you anything since the last meeting, Todd?
No, but she doesn't need to give me anything, she does it all herself now. So she hasn't reconciled as far as I know.
Okay.
So it's still only,
How does she reconcile both sides?
What's that? Because she, with our new system, she can go right in, put in all this stuff, and she can balance it to the bank, instead of me balancing to her from the bank. It was what we were talking on our thing, so, yeah, that is true. That's how we were,
but is it,
what's that?
So now she can go,
shouldn't you be,
going through the bank?
No, because it's all, it's all.
no, but shouldn't you be able to verify if she's?
Yeah, I can verify it, yeah.
But-
But she would probably tell me that she's entered stuff, you know, I guess I could look at that too, see if it's there or not. Yes and no, since she didn't give us a financial report.
So, actually, we're just what, what was the last, through June? right?
June.
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
It was May last meeting.
May. May, we're through May.
I'm sorry, but I'm not really sure what's going on up there. We're talking about a financial report or something, or?
All our bank statements get reconciled each month, just like you do your checkbook,
Yeah,
and we're not reconciled past May right now with our bank statements.
okay. Is there a good reason for that, or?
Well, not that I know of.
Cause the clerk he'll do his portion, and then, right, and then you give it to the treasurer, and then she goes off his report and hers.
So we're waiting for her report then?
Yeah,
How long does that usually run?
well, it was every month we were on time, but the last year and a half, it's been a while. We've
Does
been
she-
falling farther behind.
Is it something that some of us can help her with, or? I mean, I'd be glad to try to.
You know, we've offered that too, so,
You-
We've offered someone to come in and hire her. Her deputy's supposed to be able to do this stuff. And 6 months ago, I brought up a suggestion, BSNA was offering a class on reconciling. And I said, I think your deputy should go. And she said, well, I can train him.
Is that happening? Do we even know if that's happening? And who's-
That was on my list
And
to ask her
why-
tonight.
Why would you hire a deputy that's not trained to do that?
Because they don't get paid any money to speak of.
The deputies don't get paid.
No, they don't
money,
get paid hardly anything.
But still.
They're just mostly there in case you need
They're
help
supposed
somebody when you're gone.
They're supposed to be able, if the treasurer's incapacitated or sick, be able to do the minimal jobs.
Uh-huh. Do you guys, does the board have any say on who is selected to help?
No,
Nope.
Why is that?
it's a
Because
state law.
A
It's
state
man-
law, you don't have any.
Yeah. It's just, they get to pick the deputy, that's it.
Huh.
Mhm.
And they could pick a new deputy every week if they wanted. There's
Really?
nothing the board can do. But it's mandatory that the clerk and the treasurer have a deputy. For the supervisor, it's optional.
Huh, okay. Interesting. Thank you.
Okay, so, authorization for the payment of bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as they are.
I'll second.
Board had any comments or questions on them?
No.
Public comments?
What we talked about earlier? Can't either. I didn't remember the initial with one.
You good?
We're good.
Roll call?
Vern,
Yes.
Norton,
Yes.
Lee, Pruitt,
Yes.
Johnson, and Wood.
Reports. You wanna go first?
Sure. I have to apologize, I do not have a note, I came straight from work, but, from memory, we have, somewhere between 13 and 15 active, majority of which are blight, related. There's a couple that, there's a couple of noise issues, if I remember right, one's music, one's dogs, maybe two music, one dog. But the noise ordinance is currently, in flux, waiting to hear back from the township attorney on suggested language. There's an amendment that brought up last month. As it currently is written, my understanding is it's unconstitutional in the state, because it lacks, I'll say it's a definition, but it essentially lacks, some hard and fast or non-discretionary discussion as to what is noise. Because everybody in the room is gonna look at a given noise or volume differently, in some cases. And it needs to be defined in such a way that is very clear when we give that documentation, either on our website, or if I print it and I hand it to someone that we're having an issue with, whether it's actually an issue or it's just a discussion about noise, it needs to be clearly understood in that document what is meant by noise. Right now, we don't have, and I don't believe the intent is to create a decibel level. It's gonna be some descriptive, language that, defines it and clarifies what is, and I believe it's gonna be not acceptable. But I haven't heard back from the attorney on that one yet. The other update I have is, and I'm not even sure how many folks at the front table are gonna remember, they issued a ticket for, a building that was built in the setback, was asked to rescind that ticket for a short period of time because the, party that built the building and the adjacent property owner were going to civil court over this structure or parcel adjacent to. That has been, decided in civil court. Judgment was for the defendant, the party that did not build the building. There hasn't been an appeal filed, so we're moving forward. But when I asked the attorney for feedback on how to proceed on the benefit or the behalf of the township, I was told he was going to reach out to the party's attorney, since they had an attorney of record, and ask them how they intend to address the non-compliant setback, which was the original offense. The answer came back that they intend to approach and apply through the zoning board of appeals for variance to the zoning ordinance. I want to go on record by saying I don't think that's appropriate. It's kind of like asking for forgiveness after you've broken the law. And I'm not real sure that that's a precedent that we want to set. I don't know if that means I should directly go to the zoning board of appeals, to the chair, and give them the full history. But if and when that is brought, I would personally like to know if we have a timeline or a time constraint at which this resident should be making that application, and if they don't, we move forward with whatever we need to correct that non-compliance. It's been 3 years. It's been a very long road for the adjacent neighbor, who has now had to defend themselves in civil court at a cost of over $40,000. And I think we have a responsibility to that resident to at least see this through in whatever way and legal recourse we have available in a timely fashion. And by timely, I don't mean another 3 years.
What about issuing that ticket again? Or won't that?
From what I've heard from the township attorney, I don't know if I have that option available to me right now, since he's reached out. That I plan to ask him directly, because I personally, the way I look at the variance request through the zoning board is that should be made before you have a building project. Each resident and property owner has a responsibility to site that building that they're building or erecting in certainty of where they're placing that structure. And they need to, with certainty, know that it is on their property and within the proper setback. And in this case, it is not. It is on their property, yes. It is clearly violating the setback requirement, which is 15 feet. And I'm having a hard time validating if it's any greater than 3 feet. And if we choose to pursue with the zoning board of appeals, and for whatever reason they grant that, I want to caution the board that is setting a precedent legally for every resident in this township to do whatever they desire to do, and then claim that it was okay because that precedent was set. So, there you have my opinion for the record. I continue to pursue all of those violations with vigor. Some folks have firsthand experience with some of these. It does take time. Unfortunately, it takes a great deal of time in some cases. So, if there's questions, I can field them, but that's pretty much it this month.
Sounds like the person ought to have a lawyer come to a meeting so we can ask him.
Ordinance.
I need to redirect with them at a minimum for the, can we reissue the ticket? And I also need his guidance for an amendment of the noise ordinance. Without it, the way I understand it, as it stands today, I can't enforce it. I mean, I can try to enforce it, but if we end up in a situation where we're going to district court, it will be thrown out. Because the language of it is just not sufficient. So we need an amendment at a minimum to, I guess, regain that enforceable nature. Question from the gallery was if other townships have a noise ordinance. The high level answer is in Midland County, yes, there are other townships with a noise ordinance. However, not every township in the county has a noise ordinance. And the language of those that do have a noise ordinance is not common. Therefore, it is enforced by each individual township. Most of us would think that that's something that the sheriff could help with. It's not really something they can do on our behalf because it, one, doesn't have a common enforceable language countywide. And two, that would require, say, 4 or 5 townships have different languages. The county sheriff would have to, one, agree to enforce it, and then 2, would have to educate all of his staff and deputies and train them on the language of each individual ordinance, and that's kind of adding stuff to their plate that they really shouldn't be doing. I'd rather see them catching the bad guys and maybe slowing people down at 20. Oh, I've shared too much.
If we get clock cameras, maybe that'll slow them down.
Nobody asked you more questions?
I'll see after. Any questions you have, I'll field them.
Anybody else have any for Nick? Thanks, Nick. Zoning code authority.
Code authority. We had our meeting last month. It was a relatively short meeting. Short-ish. We, for the most part, the only things that we had to discuss was, we're looking over our insurance as it stands because the discussion is that we don't have workers' comp in place. So we'll be continuing to discuss that with, we had Ken Linden from the Lind Agency to discuss a little bit about what we're open to. So we'll continue with that discussion. In your packet is the new building permit application that our building inspector wants to put into place. He wants feedback from all of the townships. So please take a look at it. And if you have anything before next week, please let me know. We're going to hopefully approve it if that's the case. One of the big things that he was trying to do with this building permit was reduce the number of pages. I think the old building permit was, 6 pages long. This one's just 4, so 2 sheets front and back. And 1 sheet is just essentially how the building is constructed. So if you have any feedback, let me know, and I will take it to Code Authority next week. The next meeting with Code Authority will be next Thursday at 5:30 in the County Services Building. Everyone is welcome to attend. I can't promise you won't fall asleep.
Did you, I don't know who's on that committee anymore.
Code Authority?
Cassie and Mr. Horton and your wife, would this be worth sending to them to see what
I
they
don't
think
think
about?
that, it's not a plan commission thing.
Okay.
They don't deal with the building codes.
Should we have, on the building permit, should we have that the zoning permit was approved? Is that?
That has to be done before they'll issue a building permit. That's a part of the office procedures.
Okay, but shouldn't we have that on the building permit, have a box for that to be checked off? Be okay, Keith?
It's not necessarily
Not necessary?
part of this permit. This is what they fill out to go in. This isn't necessarily what we're filling out to approve it. That's other paperwork that gets approved for the
I'm just
building
thinking
permit
of the
itself.
incident, if it was zoning permit was part of it on that, we would have known about that deal we got over here. We had built on too close to the property.
No, it's, he's just.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, he's just adjusting to what he thinks he sees.
Okay,
So, that in every township has a different zoning form. So
Yeah.
we can't have one, we don't have one that's standardized across all townships.
okay.
So,
That was my only question, just trying
Cool.
to make things easier.
that's all I have.
Thanks, Keith. parks.
Russ, just to clarify for Craig and the rest of the board, the application is both the zoning application and then the subsequent building application. There is no responsibility from the zoning administrator and or the building inspector, the code authority, to validate where that property line is in relationship to what they're being requested in that application or the building permit application. The expectation is that the resident has already confirmed and is very knowledgeable of where that property line is, and they understand that what they're stating in their application for zoning and subsequent building permit is accurate and true. So in the case that you referenced, that zoning application said there were going to be 21 or 22 feet off the property line. In reality, they're around 3. And the zoning application then is looked at or looked for by the code authority, one, to verify that yes, that applicant has been to their township, the township approved it based on what they were given, and that checks a box for the code authority. But it's firmly the responsibility of the resident to ensure that they're citing their building appropriately.
And that's what it says on the zoning permit, remember? It says what that, it does now, that we don't require a survey, some townships do, with the zoning permit. But it says on there, you are legally responsible
For
for,
your own property,
yep, it's right in a big paragraph.
we know how people read.
So that'd be the other option is,
They
if
would
it
have
came to
surveys,
it,
start making them do surveys to make sure,
yeah, the zoning permit, but at the time, we didn't feel that was a,
necessary need.
yeah. Just something to think about down the road, if it does become a more common problem, we may have to. Any more questions for Keith? Parks?
I got two things I want to expand on here for the parks. One, Craig had attended a truck show.
Yep.
35 trucks were on display down at the park here last Sunday. What I wanted to get at though was that you said you've got several comments from people about the pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball courts.
And that. So
Yeah,
there is
some
some
people
people.
mentioned the pickleball courts, they liked it, enjoyed it. And so John and I have talked about if we need, I told him to keep an eye on it, if we start getting backed up, get a hold of John and we'll go ahead and purchase another net and stuff. But they enjoyed it, they liked it. And the bathrooms have been real clean, I checked the bathrooms because I heard rumors, they were spotless. And the other concern John and I have had is toilet paper. We're charging $50, okay? And we talked about this, if we'd have had 200 people show up, how much toilet paper does that $50 cost? Okay, I went by there during the election and the soccer people were there, there was over 400 people were there, okay? And there was a lot of kids and everything, so you know how the bathroom gets handled. And also, they were parked on our pathing. Right by the DPW building, there was 4 vehicles parked on our walk path. So we need to put our pavilions up to stop them from driving through there, or get costs to put that fence up. Before we end up having to replace part of our walkway there. And that was the only place they were parked on, it was right there. And that. But that's things to look at, and I don't know what our cost per roll of toilet paper is.
$85 a case, which I think is maybe like
24.
96 rolls.
96 rolls. So you decide 96,
I don't know how fast they're going through it, that's what we gotta find out.
is Jeff putting those, changing them?
I think the boys are going on and Jeff is doing
Jeff
something.
does everything.
Jeff does everything? Could you ask him just to check them after events to see how much he's had to put in for us? So we can cover that fee. But I was impressed, the boys did do a hell of a job on the field, Todd, they kept home short, because I was worried about low cars and fire and stuff out back where we were at, but it was all good. And then,
aside on that, can we pull the bills from that supplier and see how much we've done, you know, like in the past year for toilet paper?
Yeah, I can see, well, yeah, I'd have to see, because their bills have to be done, but it goes for all township.
I know, it goes for everything in the township, but I don't know how we're gonna track how many rolls are going where.
Right.
And down here, we're not too worried about it. You know, it's mostly the park, the big park is with the volume of people there, so.
Right.
We just need to figure out what it is so we can get an idea of what cost we need to cover so that we can determine a fee structure for these times when they're renting the park or portions of the park. All that. Also, while I was just thinking about it, while he was talking about it, do we have authorization to have vehicles towed?
No. Didn't have anything up, didn't have anything,
So we need to change that.
yeah. We would
So
have
we
to
need to
do,
get,
you have to go, what you probably see what you need to put up, but we don't have anything, any signs or anything.
yeah, just non-motorized vehicles on the path.
Right.
Okay.
I have some no parking signs in Colorado.
Can't afford it, but.
Quick question,
Yes.
is it potentially worth getting some yellow pavement spray and putting some diagonals on the walking path from just beyond one driveway to the other driveway? Just so people will notice that it's like not a road?
We've already had,
Well, that's right where the non-motorized signs are.
But,
Just something bold that you'd say,
Yeah.
this isn't a good idea.
attainable, neck high.
might be consideration too.
Okay.
Have to wait till time.
Well, we'll work on that. On the other side of that, Brian or Russ, does anybody have an update on the field, the multi-purpose field?
Not yet.
Not
I'll
yet.
see him this week.
We'll see him this week, okay? So we're trying to get the field in the back, that's gonna be the multi-purpose field, set up so that we can have playing fields there and available, and we can move them from up by Homer Road to the back of the park, and then free that up for parking.
Get farther away from the fire department.
I'll come with some ideas for some signs. That's all I've got.
Thanks, John. Fire department.
I promise to be quicker than the last one. All right, we're
We
looking
got
on.
questions.
You got a question? Shoot. All
You said you're gonna be quicker, so.
right, for July, we had 28 medical calls, 4 odor investigations, mostly gas, 3 trees on wires, 2 lift assists, 2 mutual aids, 1 fire alarm, 1 gas leak, and 1 house fire. There were 42 for the month and 273 for the, as our runs for the year. Other news, yeah, that one. The thing's still going to be very recertified. Turnout gear we got on the agenda for tonight. The tanker had to go in for an ABS light that was on. It was nothing broke, it was just a computer glitch. But they hooked it up so that everything was fine. But the air conditioning, when they went to recharge the air conditioning, because it didn't work, it's kind of a neat story. They had to recharge it, and his machine broke. When he got his machine back, he recharged it. But the computer in the truck wouldn't let the system update because it was so old. And we had a version 3 in our ECU, or electronic computer. When they got done, it was upgraded to version 463. We missed a few upgrades between trying to and the nice thing is, the computer took it, and it not, it would cost us like $2,800 to replace the computer, so. I don't know if fire trucks evidently need to be upgraded occasionally. Ours wasn't. I had to get some new boots for the new firefighters, Todd should have a bill for that. And a couple lights on the outside of the building I gotta have replaced, I gotta get a hold of Kapoon to come and do that. Questions, comments, night remarks? not necessarily in that order. Check your burn permits, because we're having some issues right now with the DNR. They'll issue burn permits, or they'll allow burn permits in the morning, then maybe by lunchtime, they turn the burn permits back off. I've had a couple incidents where I've had to go and talk to residents that were burning. They started it legally, but after lunch, it was now illegal, so my theory is let them finish burning it and then take care of it, so. Check the burn permit webpage before you light a fire. Okay?
Do they contact you?
Everybody calls me.
No, I mean, like, if I call a DNR and say I'm in burn,
You don't call anybody, you just want.
or go online, whether they allow it or not.
Just want to look at the picture, if it's green, you can burn, if it's yellow, you can't burn till after 6, and if it's orange, I think you can't burn at all. No, nobody contacts me unless the neighbors are complaining that the other neighbors burned it, and the smoke is going across my yard, I don't want the smoke in my yard. And John goes over and says, you can't do this, and they say, well, why not?
They must be calling you after they call me.
After they call, I'm gonna start calling you. Okay, that's it, thank you.
Oh, wait, they're calling you, 'cause I told you.
Yeah, thank you.
Planning commission. No meeting?
I know.
Cemetery,
Nothing new down there.
Looks good though, Todd.
nothing new with the assessor coming, you just, what? It was, yeah. We had that before, or after? Nothing to report.
No.
All right, come to our first agenda item. Guess you should have just stayed up here.
Could've just did that.
John has pricing for turnout gear for the firefighters. Or-
In your full packet things that I gave you, the NFP report that I gave you that, saying that every 10 years we have to replace it. 2016 is when we bought the gear, so we're up for that. The second blue, oh, it's blue in my book, is the specs we used to set up what we're looking for in the fire gear. What kind of material, pockets and that kind of stuff, in case you're interested in board at night and you can't go to sleep, go ahead and read that. And the back 3 pages are 3 different prices of different levels of turnout gear.
Here.
What did you think of?
He lost his other.
I didn't lose it. All you had to do is sit down. There's 3 different prices, 56,000 is the one that we selected to go with. And then obviously each level is a different material, okay? And then the back page is just a different color material, and actually costs a lot more to change colors, I guess. So, the ones we selected to go with was the 56,000 M's for 15 sets of gear.
Well, is it durability the difference in the two of them, or what's the
The
difference?
materials,
So is the second a lot more?
They're all have to meet a certain NFPA standard,
Okay,
okay? But the back ones, maybe the way the shoulders are cut or the legs are cut,
oh, it's just a style
it's
one,
just a style.
so they're basically all the same other than
You
style
buy-
or fused.
You buy cotton pants, you buy polyester pants, you buy silk pants, and that's basically, it's just, they're all good. They all meet the standards, but, we elected to stay with the lower level. If you wanna buy us that high level, I'm okay with that.
Did you try?
Did we? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we had all 3 sets there, everybody went through them. That's where we changed that spec sheet, because, we added a few things like where pockets were, radio pockets and snaps and buckles and things like that. What they call it, fat skinny belts or something like that? It's an elastic belt that it's adjustable for fat or skinny people. That's what they call it. So, that's where we're at.
Do we need to approve this tonight, Todd?
Sooner the better. And I'm thinking of 3 to 4 months to get it out.
I'm gonna make the motion, purchase the fire apparatus stuff for the fire department at 56,250
From Al.
from
Al.
Allied.
Did they give you a time frame?
3 to 4 months,
3 to 4 months.
depending on which ship it comes across. We're still paying shipping and tariff.
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
They estimated it to zero.
Yeah,
That was
To be
part of our,
determined.
what's that?
Yeah.
to be determined too then, so.
Because it was, yeah, that can be discussed. I can waive that, or have him waive that. Because he's gonna be looking to get us going.
Is that seconded?
No, you want a second?
I will.
Any more board comments or questions to John? Any public comments? Roll call?
Norton.
Yes.
Lee, yes. Pruitt.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Van Wert.
Yes.
Varner.
Yes.
Thank you. All I'm gonna show you is the house from your house.
When you all get together, take a group picture and put it on the wall for us?
You don't want a picture of it. Thank you.
Agenda item number 2 is BSNA assessing system annual service fee. This would be for the assessor. It's $1,261. It goes from August 1st this year to August 1st next year.
I'll make that motion in favor.
I'll second it.
More board comments or public questions?
No, this is
Same
totally
manufacturer.
different. Same manufacturer, totally different.
Roll call?
Just 1 second.
I have a question, I'm sorry, I don't know. What is the BSA assessing system?
It's a software for the computer that he uses. Has to be updated periodically.
Okay, and that's for,
It's for the assessor.
The assessor.
With the
One that
assessor.
determines the value of your taxes.
oh,
Your,
yeah.
the taxes on your house and your property.
So we get that back to version 3.
Okay, thank you.
Ready?
Yep.
Lee, yes. Pruitt.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Van Wert.
Yes.
Varner.
Yes.
Norton.
Yes.
Agenda item number 3, Joe has gotten some pricing and colors for the acoustical tiles for the walls here.
For the echo chamber. So, anyway, I finally did hear from one of the companies that I pinged to get some ideas on how to do all this, and they gave me some basic information. I gave them dimensions, I tried to give them how many openings we have, and they were like, well, you need 52 by 4 foot panels, 2 inches thick. And I'm like, I don't have that many walls. So I've cut back. I did take the liberty of ordering a sample of their colors. There's my bill. If you want to see what they look like, ours are 2 inches thick, that's 1 inch. If you want to see what they feel like, here's some larger samples. I took the liberty of pulling all of the colors that we would never use. And here are the colors we might use. I'm guessing we're going to be one of these first 2.
Push the samples.
Let me just push that one.
Actually, I'm going to do this. You can have an idea. I'm guessing it's
2 foot by 4 foot, right, Joe?
2 foot by 4 foot, and we put them, I'm guessing it's this, potentially that, but I don't know if you want to do that, like one of those 2. Anyway, you put them at basically eye level and above to knock the things down. You can do all vertical, you can do vertical, horizontal, above, etc. Fill in the gaps. Like I said, we have so many doors that we're not going to put 50 of them in here. So I ran through their ordering system, and I knocked it down to 40. And if we use 40 of them, the bill will be $4,024. There's a couple of examples.
Is that installed, Joe, or we got to
We install, you have a bracket that you screw on the wall, and then you put some adhesive above the bracket. The bracket has spikes on it, that you can see from that, it's a
They just
softer
push it
fiberglass.
like that.
And you basically smash it on the wall, put some painter's tape on there so your lines all work, and, you know, some straight lines and stuff like that, and it's stuck on the wall. You, with a little bit of cordage, you could probably cut the adhesive and pull it off if one gets destroyed, and we would have a couple in the back room in case one of them gets, set up, so. I can set up an order, I need a tax exempt number, and have them create an invoice. My issues are, I'm thinking this is a winter project, and we just basically don't have any events in here for a couple of days and just do it with volunteers. But I don't know where to have it delivered to, because somebody's gonna have to sign for it.
Yeah, not here.
Oh,
Chippewa.
Yeah.
I need a destination where someone's gonna be, and people are frequently not in the barn. I don't necessarily wanna do it at my house, but if that's the only way it'll work, we can do that, and then,
How big a space is this gonna be?
we're talking about 60 cubic feet of material. So it's going to be a multitude of not small boxes,
Boxes.
you know,
They're gonna be
Several.
4 by 4 foot boxes.
Yeah.
And-
4 foot.
and 40 of them.
It should be 2
It's not that
boxes.
big.
I'm not sure how,
I guess if it was,
I don't think you're gonna do that, but they're gonna land somewhere, where someone's gonna be. So for today, I need a color. And I don't necessarily need a destination today, and I can have them write an invoice. And I'm not sure how, because I'm not so on my computer. I don't mind samples, but,
No, I owe you for this, right?
yes.
So, that's,
Okay, that's it. So, yeah, it's not gonna burn.
That's,
That was a question.
I had. And where do they recommend hanging these on the walls? How high?
We have incredibly high ceilings, so they would probably be saying you would put a 2 foot, 4 foot up, 1, 2, and then 1 across the top of them. And do it that way. We can't go too tall because this is not 8 feet. But a row of verticals and a horizontal across the top in the main places around. We don't need to do the screen, we obviously don't need to do the windows or the bookcase. That's why I'm like, I've actually got photographs of the whole thing, and I'll draw some blocks to put on there, but, you know, like I said,
Could we stay with the level of our beams there, Joe? With the bottom of that beam is?
I think they would be
That-
higher to catch the
I think
echo.
we
I mean, this one, I might just put one horizontally
Yep,
underneath.
that's what I mean, if we started there with them, we'd go around the room at the same height, all the way around,
We can try.
you know?
Like I
So,
said, I guess
like,
it-
just so it's not staggered up and down, you know, if we're
I
hanging,
mean, most
start them at one height and work our way up or down.
Most of it will stay uniform. The only odd thing is this height here, because all the other walls are reasonable size.
Mhm.
And like I said, there'll be painter's tape all over the walls for marking the levels of, because, I mean, the bracket itself doesn't have to be perfect. It's your smash that has to be perfect. And that's so that it's level.
What about a laser line?
We can do that, but it's to set the tape, yes.
Good.
Anyway, like I said, I'm figuring that's a winter project. I just want to get started. These people, you put them in an order and you'll have it in a week. Well, it'll be in transit in less than a week. Those prices include transportation for like $500. It does not include taxes, but that doesn't matter for you.
Does it come with glue then, or is that something?
You gotta buy the Loctite glue. I mean, they have a sale price on there. I haven't compared it to Lowe's to see if it's a better deal than Lowe's.
Have Brian check it too.
Sorry, I'm addicted to my my 5% discount. So, if you are capable of thinking about it, you want to go dark, relatively dark, medium, or light. Because the other ones are more of the gray family and don't really match.
I would say either the really light or the far left one. I wouldn't go darker.
I like the second one.
The first. I think
I
that
like
one
the
will bring it a
lowest.
little
Any opinions from the audience are welcome. I just don't want this looking like a cave on the inside with the very dark, because then you gotta start worrying about, okay,
Either
what
the
lights
second
do
one
we
from the right or the first one on the left.
I kinda like the lighter one, just to lighten
Brighten it
the
up
room
a
up a
little
little
more.
bit more,
You talking about that one?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's not gonna show the dirt?
That's gonna be high, I mean, it's high enough, I don't think people
I don't
are gonna be
think-
handling
I don't
it.
think he's gonna get to him. We're gonna come in and see dirt stuck in one day.
I mean, this one does add some additional light over what you currently have.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah. Of course, it'll be important to all rentals to make sure they say, do not attach anything
not
to
put
this
tags
house.
These are not
Because they may go, oh, their phone, we can push pins into them, and they'll have holes all over them. So,
That's why I was asking how high you could mount.
I mean, we will go up, but they say start like about here.
yeah.
Because that's where you're projecting from is.
Do they send like any instructions on putting them, spacing them, any of that?
There's a couple of videos with suggestions on how to set up, but it's, everything is so room dependent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, we've got small sections, and we'll probably put a row across the top of the bookcases just to knock that down. The bookcases will never match, but it's a separate wall anyway.
What's your color preference?
What do you think, Brian? What color would be best? You're the builder in this
Turn
room.
it, turn it.
No interior.
You know how my color favors are.
So dark, medium, light, forget the grays. Dark,
I think
medium.
we get rid of the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go with the one on the far left.
the far left,
How
if you,
often does this room get painted?
Not often enough.
Because I was gonna say.
it'll be a while, it was just painted.
We're not gonna paint around.
They just painted it.
Twice.
Yeah, they just painted it this past winter.
Yeah. I would say the light one. That's my opinion.
We're not gonna do it to the winter. I can leave the three candidates taped to the wall if you want. and we can-
So we don't really need to vote on this tonight?
Not the color.
Oh, the
I mean,
color.
I can give you pricing, I can give you the rest. We will finalize the color and the destination for the delivery site. I just need to talk to them and make sure I can get all the tax exempt stuff in there and all the rest.
I'll make a motion for the light.
I'll second it.
I like it,
I feel like man or
that counts.
You don't look like that.
Might kind of like it too.
Good thing.
Yeah, dirt and dust, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Mention stuff.
Or this.
Yeah, I think the lighter one on the right hand side.
Because the other one was just about to color the wall, and they'll accent the wall with the lighter color.
In that case, you have chosen candidate is country cream. If you wanna put a specific color in there instead of.
Well, that's just good.
No, purchase.
Are you putting to purchase it, the country cream?
Yeah, to make that the color choice.
And the
If we purchase,
Well, if we purchase it,
you want me to make the motion for purchasing? I was
Yeah,
just making a
there's no
motion for choosing.
Yeah,
No sense in doing
No sense in doing color for the purchase.
Okay, let's purchase, then let's purchase for the,
4,024.68.
Why don't you get it like
What's the total we need?
4,300, just so if they're the cheap adhesive, we can just throw it
I'm
on.
willing to spend up to that much.
Yep.
Okay. For the 40-plus panels in the cream color, country cream, so it's
Country cream.
So are you doing it for 43 then?
Yeah, do it for, that
up
way,
to 43.
And I'll still second it.
and at the rate they're putting surcharges on freight, that may change too.
Okay, any more board discussion or decisions? Any public comments? Roll call?
Pruitt.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Van Wert.
Yes.
Barney.
Yes.
Norton.
Yes.
Lee, yes.
Thanks for doing that, Joe.
I'd like to have a party in here where my father-in-law doesn't take his hearing aids out from the echoes.
Agenda item number 4, the water refunds. I know that's gonna, I don't think we'll really vote anything tonight, but there has to be more discussion. I was hoping Sandra would be here, because I wanna know if they're even, if she has all 6 districts figured out. I know that she has some of them. But talking with MTA, they were, the way it sounded, it should be a board vote, not just, clerk treasurer deciding how it gets refunded.
Whatever we can get done soon.
How many water districts do we still have money in? It's
There's 6.
6.
Well, no, you got 7 counting water 11, but that's
That's
still
still
going.
active.
Yeah, that's not done. You got 6 that need paid back.
6 to be paid back.
6 to be refunded.
Okay.
So I know MTA, they said, we're more concerned about why it was in a refund position, but
I have no clue. These are all waiting for us.
I know the one,
Other than 8 and 10. 8 and 10 was a.
but the one was, gosh, in like 5 years, they had enough money to pay it off. But Sandra said that you couldn't, because of the bond, pay it off early, which never made sense, but, so I think that one, the one that has, I think it's, I don't know, I even hate to guess, but she just said it's a lot of money, but whatever that is.
I would say Water 6 has 381,000, almost 382,000 in it,
I don't know how many
So.
people are in those.
yeah. Couldn't tell those numbers.
So I don't know if
I'd like to see it done in checks and get it done and over with.
Well, that's the problem, right? It's not gonna get done over with the checks before December or November. For one, you have to buy the checks in order, and that'll take a couple of weeks. I got an election coming up, I got an audit coming up, and it's just not gonna happen until, it takes me probably 2 weeks to do those, maybe, depends on how many people, but I'm guessing. It took me, with the 715 checks that we did the last time, it took me 2 weeks to go.
It's not gonna be any quicker for them on the tax roll.
That's what I'm saying, plus you got expense with this, the tax roll, you got no expense. You're gonna have probably at least $3 grand tied up into doing checks.
Now I'm gonna do more check, because Kim, Cumtrick, or no, Ann, said it's gonna be some work putting it on.
And maybe it is, I don't know, but the other, you're gonna have to purchase checks for all 6 of those things.
Yep.
And I don't know how many of those, purchase checks for that, you're gonna have postage, special postage envelopes, all that stuff. Just for that,
One small one, isn't
there
there?
could be.
Yeah.
No, that's the last.
That's on our own, but there's another small one in
Small
there.
one in there.
But I'm just guessing you're gonna have at least 1,000 of these going on.
Right, exactly. by a minimum.
But I gotta buy a minimum amount of checks for each district,
You have 10 checks to write, and you probably have to buy,
probably 100,
I would say at
maybe,
least.
maybe more than that, I don't know.
I think the real question comes down is, when can Sandy get this ready to go?
Well, that's it too.
I
mean,
I
even if
come
she
down
gets
there,
it-
whoever, we can
Right.
help to get this.
Even
thing
with
done.
the checks, it can't get done until she gets her act done, you know what I'm saying?
And
So either,
Russ, you
which
need to
way.
get on her, and we need this thing done. She's dragged her feet on way too many things the last 2 years that, it ain't just the water districts, it's a lot of other things that haven't got done.
Yeah, I will, April, next month, just,
I think,
I'll check with the treasurer.
I don't think
find
you-
out how big the work
I don't
is.
think you can give her the option, I think you hire that lady from Lincoln and get her
Yeah,
in
get
here.
her to, get her to
Let's
come in
get
here,
this
tell her,
Township
you
brought
leave your
back
thing,
up.
and we're just in your passwords, and we're gonna get on this.
Yeah, 'cause I noticed the laptop's not back here either.
Well, it's been here for,
It's
since
set back
last meeting. Is it now again?
Yeah, the laptop's
Okay.
in there.
So we'll wait and,
But I mean,
Get a hold
you
of
can
her.
do checks, but I'm just telling you, you're not gonna get them that much quicker than you're gonna get the other.
No, but I think it's gonna cost you on that tax bill for the county to do it. I don't think Sandra can put it on the tax bill, I think it's got.
Well, that, we'll have to find out too, if there's a cost to that
Well,
too, I guess.
I'll check
I didn't
with
think there
them.
was a cost for that, from what I understood before, but we
I'll-
could be right, I don't know that, Brian.
They ain't gonna do it for us for nothing.
I'll check with the
Well,
county
I'm not
treasurer
sure.
on that
Yeah.
and see.
See what happens.
If you wanna just kinda,
Yeah,
maybe find out like a check price,
yeah.
go from there.
Well, I need to know how many we need. I don't have any idea on that either.
It's back to Sandy getting her job done.
Yeah.
Do you have an electronic check process? You put the,
I gotta put every one of these
Data in the
people
computer.
into the computer, yep, every one of them will have to be entered in the computer.
as
Because
a
the check has to be made out exactly how the tax,
How the tax roll is written.
I don't get to make, say you and Rick are on the property tax, I don't get to just make it to you. It's gotta be Rick and Jill Booth, and that's how they all have to be, so I'll have to enter in each and every one of them as a new vendor. And then I'll have to print the check, write in the amounts.
Put the tax number on it.
But anyways, that's what has to happen.
and then you can rubber stamp your signature.
No, I got signers in one of them.
That would be, you could do that, but signing your name's gonna be the easiest. Like,
Yeah, that'll be the
entering-
easiest part of the whole thing.
Entering those checks.
It takes, yeah, just creating a vendor takes quite a bit. I mean, you probably got 3-4 minutes on each one.
Yeah.
Do you have time to do all that?
Not right now, I don't know, that's why I said it's gonna be probably October, November before that happens.
But we need to get an
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, one way or the other.
We dragged this out for 3, 4, 5 months, we need an answer,
Right.
how we're gonna finish this thing.
You've gotta get it. Yeah.
I'll
and
have
set
some
up.
time in September. I am available now too.
I was just gonna say that, I mean, we brought this up June last year, so we're well over a year of trying to resolve this issue, and we were told last year it'd be on the December tax
Right.
bill. What happens if you guys miss it again,
Well, that's why I wanna do something.
and it's
Get
not
it-
available?
Right.
Everything's set up now rather
Well,
than,
either which way, if I don't get the information, I can't write a check.
I understand, but I'm just saying, this is money owed to taxpayers, and if they're selling houses, they're losing out on their refund, because
Right.
they'll be gone,
Right.
so.
cause last year, it was at the 11th hour, and they thought it was just gonna be
We talked about it in
a few
June,
numbers,
told it was gonna be on there in December, and then it didn't.
cause it was more complicated in finding out how much was owed than a few clicks of a button. Okay, so we'll do some homework on that one. Who does it? Don't have a second.
If you can't get it from her, you can figure out how many checks I need for each district. how many people.
I have a number of checks at the moment,
Yeah,
each district.
Cause those have to be special, right?
yeah, they have to be out of each district, they have a special.
They have that certain, that must be, got eliminated off here.
What's that?
Usually I have a second.
Oh,
Just
public
still don't
comment.
have it on.
Yeah. Does anyone have come to a second public comment?
Yes, I will state the obvious. I'm not comfortable with only one set of eyes looking at justifying the books. I think a second set of eyes needs to look at the
Well,
books.
they're all in the book, they get audited, it's all in one thing, it's just she'll, instead of,
Same.
not understanding the process. She's, the deposits, all that I do is I enter deposits, that's all I do. And then I balance that to my stuff. She's entering the deposits now instead of me, and then she can check that to my stuff, and then check it against the bank. So it all happens through her, and then she'll print the report.
You know, get that.
And it's all in the system.
So you're doing the deposits and she's entering?
I was doing the deposit. What used to happen is she would get the stuff, and she'd have to do a separate spreadsheets and everything, and she would enter and balance to the bank. And then she would give me the bank statement with her deposit slips, and then I'd enter all the deposit slips into my system, and then I would balance to her. All right, and now she can go in and enter all the deposit slips into the same system so that it doesn't have to happen twice. We can eliminate all the, extra, double entries and things like that. And then she balances to the bank, which also balances right, because her check register will be on my form. And it'll all balance right off our computer.
So you still have oversight?
Yeah, she doesn't get to touch any of my things, she can just enter in her things and balance it to my stuff.
But she has oversight over what monies, I mean, you all have oversight over what she's depositing?
It'd be just the same thing, she still has deposit slips and all that good stuff, yes. And it all gets audited at the end of the year also on top of that.
And you all know what she's depositing, that is true, okay.
Yeah, and it'll be all entered in there, the dates that it was deposited.
Todd can look at hers and access it, can't make any changes, and she
Yeah.
can look at Todd's.
It can't make changes. Yeah, it's
It's
all
all-
accessible.
I see.
You just don't have the separate spreadsheets. You have 2 or 3 spreadsheets, and then she's got 1 or 2, you know, and then you're trying to enter it all in.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Nothing else, meeting adjourned.